Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got breaking news, a new and exciting partnership between AMD and OpenAI. I don't know if you weren't checking the stock market this morning, but AMD stock went up like 25%. And of course, I had to ask, why? What's going on here? Well, apparently, OpenAI and AMD are having a little bit of a get together, and they've decided to form a partnership wherein OpenAI buys product from AMD, and in return, OpenAI gets to buy the stock of AMD. Isn't that exciting? So let's dive right into the news and see what's going on. So, of course, the first thing we need to see is AMD stock going up because that's what everybody cares about. The stock is up 26% in the last 5 days. Now, AMD's been cooking, okay? AMD's been cooking. And once again, the age-old buy the dip of large cap tech or chips, and it always goes up, seems to hold. So AMD is up 68% year to date. It's only up 19% in the past year. And it's up 136% in the last 5 years. So AMD is just chopping all around, okay? But ever since the bottom of 85, if you had bought when AMD was $85, you would have more than doubled your money. So let's check out the deal and see what this is all about. So AMD had this little press release on their website. You always go to their website. It's the best place to do it, or the Securities and Exchange Commission. AMD and OpenAI announced strategic partnership to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs. Oh my God, is this happening tomorrow? Not quite. So the highlights are OpenAI, which is the amazing ChatGPT company, to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs based on a multi-year, multi-generation agreement. The initial 1 gigawatt OpenAI deployment will start in the second half of 2026. So yes, we are still at a freaking minimum, 9 months away from anything taking place. What could happen in 9 months? I don't know. So it reiterates they opened a 6 gigawatt agreement to power OpenAI's next generation AI infrastructure across multiple generations of AMD Instinct GPUs. The first 1 gigawatt deployment, not the first, is to begin in the second half of 2026. So the market's already pricing in a lot of revenue and a lot of profit for AMD. And this isn't even happening for, at minimum, 9 months. Under this definitive agreement, OpenAI will work with AMD as a core strategic compute partner to drive at large-scale deployments of AMD technology. By sharing technical expertise to optimize their product roadmaps, they are deepening their multi-generational hardware and software collaboration. This partnership creates a true win-win. How is it a win-win? Well, let's keep reading. As part of the agreement to further align strategic interests, AMD has issued OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 million shares of AMD common stock, structured to vest as specific milestones are achieved. So, once again, we have all these different AI companies freaking investing in each other, okay? And I'm starting to feel like the government and these large corporations are merging into one. I really feel that way. Now, it's slow, and it's not very apparent, in the big scheme of things. But if you think about it, all these companies are investing in each other. NVIDIA's investing in freaking Intel, okay? Now OpenAI can invest in AMD. The government itself is investing in multiple companies, including Intel. So what you're seeing is it's almost like this fascistic combination merger of corporate and state into one entity. And it's going to be harder and harder to really understand who owns what and how these different companies impact each other when they all freaking own each other, okay? This is like hyper monopolization. What's going on here? Okay, it's freaking crazy to me. It's like we're merging into this one large corporate government state. It's crazy. Yeah. This is a new era for capitalism, I can tell you that. So AMD has issued OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 million shares of AMD. So currently the number of shares outstanding are 1.6 billion. So that's 10% more shares of AMD. So obviously you got to factor in the future dilution, okay? So basically, OpenAI is giving AMD cash, and well, basically AMD's getting a decent deal here. Okay, so they have to dilute their stock, they have to give up ownership of future profits, and they're driving revenue by giving up ownership of their company. So basically, OpenAI can pay cash to purchase these warrants, and AMD can generate even more cash from OpenAI by selling these GPUs to OpenAI. So it's kind of like this circular thing where, money's just going around in a freaking circle. Okay. You got OpenAI paying AMD, blah, 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 blah. It's weird. It's very freaking weird. Okay. It's almost like, in order to drive sales, you have to give up ownership of your business. That's really weird. Like, that's like me saying, I want tax clients. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if you agree to buy my tax services, I will give you a 1% stake in my cryptocurrency that I'm going to issue for my tax business, my publicly traded tax business on the blockchain. That's kind of what's going on here. It's very weird. The first tranche vests with the initial 1 gigawatt deployment, with additional tranches vesting as purchases scale up to 6 gigawatts. Okay. So basically, the more that OpenAI purchases from AMD, the more OpenAI is allowed to buy more stock, up to 10% of the current float of AMD. Vesting is further tied to AMD achieving certain share price targets and to OpenAI achieving the technical and commercial milestones required to enable AMD deployments. So that's kind of what's going on here. So OpenAI gets stock in AMD. So AMD's given up ownership of their company. And in return, OpenAI agrees to buy GPUs from AMD. Interesting. Okay, that's a weird way to drive business, in my personal opinion. I would never give up ownership of my business to drive business. Oh, please let me do your taxes, and you can have part of my business. That's weird. It's very weird to me. So there's some hilarious memes going on. So we go on X, you see this Shay Balor breaking down the AI deals between NVIDIA, AMD, and OpenAI. Like, I'm losing track. I'm losing track of who owns what. It's like the everybody owns everybody in the market. It's like this weird corporate communist government state.
Well, I only got 10, so here's 10 and I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10 and I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20.
Here's 10, I owe you 10.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Good, now we're all even.
So then this other guy's inverse Kramer. Let me get this straight. NVIDIA invests $100 billion into OpenAI. OpenAI is NVIDIA's largest customer. OpenAI owns 10% of AMD. They don't yet, but they will if this whole agreement goes through, which doesn't even start until the middle of next year. OpenAI is AMD's largest customer, and the government owns AMD, or 10% of Intel. This is freaking crazy. And then this guy, Wasteland Capital, says AMD giving OpenAI 10% of its stock, so OpenAI can buy 6 gigawatts of AMD chips over the next few years. Stock up 27%. I give you stock, you give me money, my stock goes up. Everyone gets rich. The circular AI economy powers on. Now, the craziest thing, and I haven't really dove into the financials of OpenAI. This business is burning a lot of cash, and while it is a revolutionary technology, you're not going to see profits for a long time if you're an investor. So, and you're going to see write-downs on these, whoever's investing in OpenAI, you're going to see write-downs on these companies' earnings because of the losses that OpenAI is incurring. So OpenAI significantly raised its cash burn forecast, with projections reaching $115 billion of cash burn through 2029. Now, it is a revolutionary technology, but that's a long freaking time of cash burn, driven by soaring computing and data center costs. So you're going to have to be ready for for a lot of volatility. Okay. And they say 2025, the projected cash burn for 2025 is $8.5 billion. For 2026, the projected annual cash burn will more than double to $17 billion, $35 billion in 2027, $45 billion in 2028, and $37.5 billion in 2029. Okay. And then on top of that, I guess OpenAI is going to have all this money to exercise these warrants to invest in AMD. It's freaking crazy. Okay. So is this a bubble? We'll see. Now, last but not least, we got to listen to what Dan Ives has to say. I can't wait for his pure, amazing, unbiased opinion on this. So it says OpenAI AMD deal brings them right into the AI revolution. Now, if you don't know who Dan Ives is, he's a pumper of random garbage stocks, okay? And on top of that, now he's all in a world coin treasury fund. We got Bitcoin treasury companies. Now we got Ethereum treasury companies. Oh, what other cryptos can we make into treasury companies? Now we're doing WorldCoin or whatever that stupid coin is. Which is, oh, by the way, wasn't that made by the founder of OpenAI? Oh, they'll scan my eyeball. Ugh. So he's I think he's the CEO, or at least a chairman of the board or whatever, of this stupid company that is basically buying up a cryptocurrency and hoping it pumps. Wow.
Wedbush's Dan Ives. Good to see you. I appreciate you being here. You say that any lingering fears around AMD should now be thrown out the window. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, this for Lisa Su and AMD, I mean, this brings them right.
Yeah, AMD had to give up 10% of their ownership potentially to drive sales. Interesting. Well, there's no fears there. Here, take part of my tax business. Please, let me do your taxes, bro.
Into the AI revolution. And I think that wasn't factored into the stock. It's part of why it's in the Ives AI 30. I think this is actually just the start for AMD, because this next stage of the AI revolution takes hold. OpenAI, what they're doing here, I think other companies are noticing, and I think this is just the start of more tech players making these moves.
What's it mean for NVIDIA, do you think, big picture?
Look, there's still only one godfather of AI, and that's Jensen and NVIDIA. I think what you're seeing is this is a validation moment for AI in terms of where use cases are going. And it's my view. I mean, NVIDIA is a $250 stock as this all plays out. Now, Grant,
how does this prove a use case for AI? I mean, yeah, AI is pretty cool. It does a lot of cool stuff. But how does this specific deal prove a use case? I'm giving up ownership of my business, partial ownership of my business to drive sales. Okay, that's almost like an act of desperation. Why don't you just drive sales organically? You know what a deal is, right? You give me money and I give you chips. That's the deal. Why do I have to give up ownership of my business? That's odd.
Reaction today. But I think it shows this AI arms race is playing out. And you talking with Ed about where we are in 1999, 2000. Scott, I think, and I've talked, we're in a 1996 moment today, not a 1999 moment.
I mean, what kind of
no one knows
premium, if you will, you think is in NVIDIA's stock?
Look, I think there's a moat premium that's in there, but the reality is 90% of the AI spend they're going to get. Now, granted, ultimately, AMD could probably get 10% of it. Maybe now that's more 15, 20%. But the reality is demand to supply is still 10, 12 to 1 for NVIDIA chips. And that's a real moat. And that's why I think this is going to be a $5 trillion market cap. And ultimately, you're going to see more.
What's a market cap? My market cap. Sorry, my mouse is spazzing out.
More tech players. Stocks are going to continue to move higher. I think the street is still massively underestimating the spending on the AI revolution.
Why are you so convinced that we're in 96 and not 99? When you hear somebody like Paul Tudor Jones say it feels exactly like 1999, I don't know whether we'll actually replay it exactly, but I think all the ingredients are in place.
Mm-hmm. Because there's some of myself that covered tech stocks back in the 90s to where we are today, spending all my time around the world in Asia, seeing the chips, seeing demand. We're in the second inning of a 9-inning game. I'm not saying you're not going to have some froth.
So he's basically saying it's a beginning of a bubble. Okay, that everybody's agreeing it's the beginning of a bubble, or everybody agrees it's a bubble. They just don't know where it is, which is a good point because I have no idea when it's going to collapse or if it's ever going to collapse. Okay, but I'm seeing signs too. This is weird. Everybody's buying everybody. What? Why? We're going to have this one large corporate government combined abomination that rules this nation.
That's out there, but I think the street's still underestimating the spending that probably by 30, 35%. And that's what OpenAI sees. That's what AMD sees. That's what the Godfather Jensen sees. And I think and that's why Nadella, and I think from Palantir to others, this is just the next phase of the AI revolution. That's why it's 1996 as this fourth industrial revolution plays out.
If you're right, I mean, then there's like Lisa Shallot of Morgan Stanley.
You know how cooked you are. If your electricity bill's gonna go freaking bananas, dude. Can the U.S. grid even handle this? This is crazy.
Stanley, who suggests we're in the seventh inning because the AI spend all this capex. You can't possibly be in the second inning with the kind of money that's being thrown around. I read the quote earlier from Stacy Rascon of Sam Altman. OpenAI has the ability to either crash the global economy for a decade or take us to the promised land. I know what side.
Please, give us a 10-year crash. I want to see the howls of terror from retail investors. Please, crash. Please, Lord. Oh, that would be so funny.
To that argument you're clearly on, but there's a credible argument to say that you're underestimating where we are in the cycle.
Yeah, and Scott, to that point, I'd say, look, 3% of enterprise in the U.S. have gone down the AI path. None in Europe. You look at Asia ex-China, minimal. Sovereigns are just starting to play out like we've seen Middle East and UK. Think about it, as more and more enterprises, rest of the world plays out. Guess what? For the first time in 30 years, the U.S. is ahead of China when it comes to tech. So it's U.S. tech that's going to win. Now, granted, the circular in terms of OpenAI, NVIDIA, AMD, and some of the worries there. Look, I just view it like this. For OpenAI, for every dollar they put into AMD, they'll get $12 to $15. NVIDIA, the same thing. And I think that's why this is more of a...
It's guaranteed, bro. It's guaranteed. He's such a pumper, dude. All right. Let's do some comments, and then we're going to move on to my grift stream. Oh, man, I can't wait. Either this is going to be like the market's going to go ballistic. Like, if this is 1996, the market is going to go ballistic. Okay, it's going to be like, it's going to blow your mind. Go look at the .com bubble. Towards the end, the NASDAQ went vertical. It went freaking vertical. If that happens... yeah, daddy might sell in his taxable account. No, just a little bit, okay? You know, doesn't hurt to sell a little bit. You're taxable if you need it. All right, let's dive into comments. It's not even a good deal for AMD. Oh, here, take 10% of my business. Buy my chips, bro. Alan, hope you sold ZVRA. I don't trust the market when you see the humble Andrew Marshall going on Jay Nagy's stream to brag. Because Jay Nagy said starting a hedge fund is dumb and markets are overvalued. You know, we are in a clown market. Well, with the hedge fund, you can short, bro. I mean, you technically can make money if you do it right, if you're active. No dividend. Oh, yeah, there's no dividend. OpenAI doesn't have a dividend. It's garbage. After market corrects, we get back in much cheaper. Alan, Ryu. Luckily, we know now buyout can't happen till next year. That's right. Second quarter. It's not even the second half of 2026. It's not even happening right now. They're really pricing in some crazy stuff. And of course, if you have ownership of OpenAI, you record those losses on your income statement. Okay? You record those losses if you're a partial owner of another business. That's why I have early calls. Okay, we got Gil shorting apparently. Strongman, let me own 10% of your tax service, bro. I'll do my taxes with you. Then you'll make your shares go up 40%. What? Oh, my God. Pay Pig Nation, what's up, man? You are totally not getting... yeah, take ownership, bro. You know, you can't just, like, buy my tax services. No, I have to give up my business. Let's see. You know who else is a winner? Damn NCDC Campbell. Oh, yeah. I haven't paid attention to the announcement say when OpenAI can sell the warrants. I don't think it said when they can exercise. I think they can once the tranches are met. So from what it said, let's see exactly what it said. It said AMD has issued OpenAI a warrant for up to 160 million shares of AMD common stock structured to vest as specific milestones are achieved. The first tranche vest with the initial 1 gigawatt deployment. So they vest as the chips, the GPUs are deployed, basically. So I imagine that's when they can exercise the warrants. Kind of an interesting development, but NVIDIA has the cash to invest in the codes that AMD doesn't. So I don't know if this is the only way to finance or what. It's weird to me. I'm starting a world coin competitor. I just need to scan you. That's pretty good. Chocolate starfish coin. Oh my God. Oh, we're going to shoot a laser up your rectum, but it's going to be fine. Okay. You're not going to develop cancer later in life. What do you think about AMD stock, Strongman? Hey, it's a chip stock. Buy the dip, bro. Buy. Is it too late? There might be a generator that can help with the energy problem. Oh, shut up. The Cardo. Andrew Marshall, thank you for the market top indicator last night. Screen is dead. What happened to my screen? Why does everything suck on my computer? Vertical lines. Why doesn't everyone just do the easy thing? Sell when the market is at highs, buy treasuries, and wait for the bottom. Then shove your chips all in NVIDIA, Tesla, and Palantir. Well, I mean, if you're not selling for decades, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you need the money in the next year or two, maybe consider taking some profits. That's my advice to you. Please protect your cash. This market is going to get ugly. I mean, dude, it could go anywhere, man. It could go anywhere. Curious what happens to a Mitt's audience who are all in on Robinhood, Palantir. Even Jeremy isn't a clown like that. Well, basically, he'll lose a lot of his fans. He'll keep shilling the same stocks. Eventually, the market will recover, and then he'll be a genius again. That's how it always works. Jeremy's actually been smart this time and warning people. Well, he's talking out of both ends. Oh, yeah. Jeremy can't lose, bro. He's a genius. He's always right. The only thing Jeremy has been smart is marrying my Latin sister. You've joined families with Jeremy. I'm sorry to hear that. Ionic is a huge clown indicator. I started shorting today. It's dumb. It's clown scary market. Yeah, I mean, but hey, man, the clownery could just keep going. I don't know when it ends. I have no idea. I don't know what to say. This is why I'm always like, buy and hold. Don't look at it. Especially in your tax advantage accounts, just let it ride. Keep buying consistently. Dollar cost average. If we're in a bubble and it pops, okay, buy it as it goes down. You're going to be fine. If you're trading the market, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to say. Okay. Anyway, good luck to y'all. We're going to move on to our next stream. Yes, that's right. I need to grift. I need money. I am poor. I am desperate. And you will watch the stream and you will give me lots of money. Last time I watched, I can't watch him. He's so stupid. Straight shorting on memes is asking you to have your head ripped off. Ionic at 80. Yeah, there's no point. There's no point. I watched him on Friday since Strongman hasn't posted videos. I've been busy. I've been a very busy boy. Cheeks and then the kids. I've been very busy. I need to swear off women. It's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. What am I doing? I can make so much money, be so much more productive. If it wasn't for my loins driving me to pursue the cheeks. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the next stream. Cheers.